The matrix is a mathematical construct which is used widely to represent linear transformations. But you don't have to understand all the mathematical internal works of the matrix in order to be able to use it in your daily work. 3ds Max and all other 3D applications use a special case of a matrix to describe transformations in space, including the placement of geometry in the virtual world, the conversion of local to world and world to scene coordinates, and so on. This special case of a matrix has 4 rows and 4 columns. The first row in 3ds Max corresponds to the x-axis, the second row to the y, the third to the z, and the fourth row corresponds to the translation, that means the position, an offset relative to the world coordinate system. In some other applications, and in OpenGL, for example, the same information is stored vertically. So the first column contains the data about the x-axis, the second column represents the y-axis, the third column represents the z-axis, and the fourth contains the translation information. In the case of 3ds Max, and especially of MaxScript, the fourth column doesn't have to be specified because it is normally filled in with 0001 just to ensure that the matrix is symmetrical. That means it has 4 rows and 4 columns. But in fact, only the first 3 columns actually being filled in with meaningful data. The fourth one is always being filled in internally with 0001. Let's create a new matrix using the matrix tree constructor and a single parameter 1. This creates a special case of a matrix tree value, which is the so-called identity matrix. This is exactly the matrix displayed in the viewport at this point. The first component, first row of the matrix, represents the x-axis, and in this case it's identical with the world x-axis. That means 1, 0, 0, the typical unit vector representing the x-axis in the world. The second row contains 0, 1, 0, the third one contains 0, 0, 1, and the fourth, the translation, contains 0, 0, 0, which is identical with the origin of the world coordinate system. This identity matrix is completely aligned to the world. When we create a new object in 3ds Max using MaxScript, for example a teapot, without any additional parameters, this teapot is being created at the origin, and its transformation matrix, which is being accessed in MaxScript through the transform property, contains exactly the identity matrix. That means that any newly created MaxScript object is automatically assigned the identity matrix and is thus aligned to the world coordinate system. In some other 3D applications, any object created through the user interface also is created at the origin and gets the identity matrix assigned to its transformation property. In 3ds Max, when using the user interface, the transformation matrix can be specified freely in the viewport, including autogrid options and so on. That means a new transformation matrix is created on the fly, but using MaxScript, the transformation matrix is always assigned as the identity. Let's take a look how the transformation matrix actually affects the position, rotation, and scale of an object relative to the world coordinate system. For example, if we would like to move the object that we just created to 100 units